Hey guys, it's Sekaar, and I'm so sorry in advance for this video. I absolutely love this build. I'm sorry if you guys don't like it. It is a one-bar build, and I know we haven't really done that before, but honestly, I had so much fun on this build today that I just needed to get this video out as soon as possible. I didn't get any clips or anything, but just trust me when I say it's a fun time, and I definitely think it's worth it if you want to run the StamDK. So guys, please enjoy the video. Later. Alright, let's get started. First things first, we are going to look at our character sheet. We're going to be an Imperial on this. Imperial is going to give us that reduced cost on all our abilities, and having us as a Vampire Stage 3 on this is going to really significantly help our sustain on that. So definitely going Imperial on this. If you also want more damage, you can go something like Wood Elf. That'd be fine too, but I do recommend being Imperial for this. We're going to have 64 points into stamina, and as you can see here, even with 64 points into that, we're still getting a nice amount of health too, so you don't really need to worry about how high your health pool is. As we see, we have a lot of buffs on this. We'll get to that in a second. Our Mundus is going to be the Warrior to increase our weapon damage as much as possible. The food we're going to be using is Orzoga's Smoked Bear Haunch. It's going to increase our max health by 4,300, and then our stamina and magic recovery by 369. And then, like I said earlier, we're going to be a Vampire Stage 3. That Undeath passive from Vampire is way too good not to use. You get mitigated damage just for having lower health, so definitely keep that at all times on almost all of your characters, not just this one. Our gear is going to look like this. Our monster set is going to be Bloodspawn in medium, and both of them are going to be in the Impen trait. And then they're all going to be prismatic. As you can see here, everything is prismatic enchants, so you're going to get that max health, max magic, and max stamina as high as possible. But what Bloodspawn does is the one piece gives you stamina recovery, and then the two piece, when you take damage, you have a 6% chance to generate 13 ultimate and increase your physical and spell resistance by almost 4k for 5 seconds. So this build is just going to be a complete ulti regen build. So having that 13 ultimate just come up every 5 seconds almost is huge. You'll see why. I'll explain more about the ulti regen as we continue. So, medium head, medium shoulders. Our chest piece is going to be Shulk's Cuirass in the Reinforced trait. What Shulk's does is that 2-piece gives you max health, the 3-piece gives you weapon and spell damage, the 4-piece is crit chance, and then the 5-piece is, it's got 2 lines, it's going to be weapon and spell damage, and then also you're going to be getting minor heroism at all times. So it's going to generate 1 ultimate every 1.5 seconds while you're in combat, so it is absolutely huge. I love this. You're just getting so much ultimate just by existing when you're in combat. So like when you're kiting around with this build, you're just getting more ultimate over and over and over again. I love it. Your hands are going to be also shulks in the reinforced trait. Your legs, reinforced shulks. Your boots are going to be impen shulks. And then we have an extra slot on this build, so we're going to be using a trainee waist in medium in the impen trait. And then our necklace is going to be Shulk's necklace in with a weapon damage enchantment in the Swift trait. You can do either Swift or Infused. I just have 2 Swift on this, so that's why I'm doing that on here. Just way I'm a lot faster. Our ring is going to be a Ring of the Potentates in the Swift trait with a weapon damage glyph. And then our mythic on this is Oaken Soul. Everybody's running this right now. There's a reason. I was against it at first, but honestly, after playing this all today, it was the most fun I've had in ages. So I definitely recommend just getting it and trying it out for yourself. I was having absolutely so much fun on this build. So what Oaken Soul does is you can only use one of your bars. So this is a 1-bar setup. And so while you have that, you're going to be getting Major Berserk, Major Courage, Major Brutality, Major Sorcery, Major Prophecy, Major Savagery, Major Force, Major Protection, Major Resolve, Minor Fortitude, Minor Intellect, Minor Endurance, and Major Heroism. So at the end of that, you heard the Major Heroism. We're stacking Major and Minor Heroism on that. So we're just generating, what is that? That's going to be, I think it's 3 ult every 1.5 seconds. So every 1.5 seconds, you get 4 ultimate. It is absolutely huge. I love it. It's so, the amount of resources you get back from that, the amount of ulti gen you get is so huge. So I definitely like that, and that's gonna be in the infused trait. And then our weapons are going to be both one-handed swords of the Potentates. And what Potentates does is the two-piece reduces your damage taken from players by 3%. And then the three-piece gives you reduces the cost of your ultimate abilities by 15%. So we're going to be lowering the cost of our ultimate while also just regenning ult at all times, as you could see with the blood spawn, with the minor heroism from Shulks, from the major heroism from Oakensoul, and then the 15% reduced cost of it. We're just going to be using our ultimate so often. I absolutely love how much we can spam it. And the first sword is going to be Nirnhoned with a weapon damage enchant. And then the offhand is going to be a charged with a... Oh, I have a poison damage on there. I'm going to put a shock glyph on there instead. Don't do a poison damage. Do a shock glyph instead. I didn't even realize that. And then let's go into the skills. These are the only 6 skills that we have right now. We have Molten Whip, which you're gonna want to use after you use Noxious Breath 3 times. I've used Noxious more today than I have in the rest of my life combined. It is so funny. You hit so hard with Oakensoul on, and each time you do that, it's putting another stack of Molten Whip on. So once you have those 3 stacks, after you use Noxious, then you hit your Molten Whip, and you're gonna be hitting a lot harder. So this is Molten Whip is going to be what you use in single target when you're AoEing people down. Noxious Breath is what you're going to want to do, and then you also get Major Breach on them, which you do not get from your Oakensoul ring, but that's fine. You don't really need it too much when you're in Corrosive, but it's still a really good AoE regardless. Resolving Vigor, you need some kind of heal in this build, or you will die. So Resolving Vigor is still always the best stamina heal. And then Coagulating Blood, this is going to be your burst heal, so try and keep your Resolving Vigor up at all times, but Coag is going to be what you do when you're losing a lot of health fast. You're going to get some chunky heals in here. You got a nice little health pool to get your resources from, or I said health, I'm sorry, magic pool. So you're going to definitely want to be using Coag when you're taking too much damage. And then Race Against Time, we need a source of speed on this, as well as a snare removal. So Race Against Time is that. You're going to be using this a lot. And on top of that, you're getting Minor Force on this build too. So, it's going to increase your critical damage by 10% as well. And then Corrosive, it only costs 173 with your Potentates at the 3-piece, so that's going to be the 15% reduced cost. And while you're in Corrosive, you ignore all your enemies' physical and spell resistance, so it is the absolute best ultimate to use on this build. I was using Leap earlier, and I was basically I had a Leap every 5 seconds too, and that was funny. But I just like the way Corrosive works. You just become so tanky, and it's really good. And my record for the fastest I ever got it back so far, it's on average I get it back in about 12 seconds after it's done. So it's so much fun to just be able to spam that as much as possible. And then finally, our champion points. Our blue slottables are going to be Ironclad, Opulent Overload, Mastered Arms, Deadly Aim. Our red slottables are going to be Boundless Vitality, Fortified, Celerity, and Pain's Refuge. And then the only green slottables that matter are use Breakfall right here, use Rationer right here because you're using Orzogas and it gets very expensive, and then Liquid Efficiency, that way you have a chance to not consume your potion. Alright guys, and now it's as simple as the build is. I love it so much. It's definitely worth the grind, so get on that as fast as you can. Get on that Oakensoul build. It's a lot of fun, even though I was very against it at first, but I definitely recommend it. It's been a blast using this. It's refreshing to the game, and it really feels like it just feels fun again, and I haven't had that in a long time. So guys, thank you so much. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you do and you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. We just passed that 2K mark, so we're slowly moving to that 3K mark, and then over and over. We're just trying to build as much as we can, guys. So I really appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to stop talking now. I can end up blabbering on a lot at the end of these videos. So guys, I'm going to stop talking. Have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will see you guys on the next video. Later.